So, what is the idea of week 5 of the course? Well, the idea of week 5 is that we're following up on week 4. Week 4 is the center of the course. Hans Jonas's essay, Technology and Responsibility, the New Task of Ethics, is the centerpiece of the course. It's the work you should read most closely and spend the most time with. So if you haven't done a thorough read of that, you should. Because an understanding of what he's getting at there is essential for the rest of the course, and certainly essential for the second essay that you will write. The singularity is, it is what it is. Very controversial. Some people think it's nonsense. Other people, like Nick Bostrom, think it's probably the most important ethical issue facing human beings, I guess. So there's no consensus about whether it's nonsense or whether it's incredibly important, which makes it, I think, really interesting. The singularity is the ethical issue which is in a way most suited to the Jonas thesis, that everything is different, that technology is this huge challenge to ethics. When we look at the serious discussion, at least around the singularity, by people like Chalmers and Bostrom, we see that they are trying to come up with some kind of ethical framework to deal with this completely novel situation. And in a certain sense, the Jonas thesis was anticipated by the thinkers like John von Neumann and I.J. Good. When you say figures like Stanislaw Ulam, John von Neumann, I.J. Good, when you see them talking about this sort of thing, then I think there's a lot of reason to give it credence, because these guys were, Ulam and von Neumann were two of the most important thinkers of the 20th century, especially when it comes to the development of technology, if you know anything about either of them. So look at those little excerpts from Ulam in his tribute to John von Neumann and from I.J. Good's 1965 essay, because they really, I think, give the real grounding for the idea of the singularity. The singularity is not just AI. The singularity is more than that. The idea of the singularity is that, technologically speaking, at a certain point, things will advance to the point where we're in a completely new situation for human beings. That was the original von Neumann idea. And that is, focused in I.J. Good's idea more on AI, right? The idea of an ultra-intelligent machine and how this will change everything, because it will be the last invention that human beings need to make, because the ultra-intelligent machine, or the superintelligence that it is called in later discussion of the subject, will be so much better at making new machines that human beings will be left far behind. But that is the idea of the superintelligence, is that human beings will be left far behind, but also that our world will be completely revolutionized by a superintelligence, because it will, in some people's estimation, just solve just about every technological and scientific problem there is. So looking at the singularity, looking at the very idea, conceiving of it, looking at it from the point of view of Jonas, that technology, when it reaches a certain power, poses these extreme challenges to our traditional ethics, because of the power and scope, both in space and time, of the effects of the new technology. So this is kind of what it's all been leading up to, is this idea. Bostrom, of course, goes through it very methodically in terms of what we can probably expect from a superintelligence, and how we, his ideas, at least, on how we should respond to it.